as the Nigerian exchange in terms of Naira to the other currencies across the world is shaking up. But first and foremost, the breaking news yesterday when the president replaced Mele Kyari, the GCEO of NNPC, with Bayo Ojulari. We'll be taking a quick intervention from Jeremiah Itilade, the CEO of PetroleumPrice.ng, will be helping us because he's a stakeholder in that sector. And many of the stakeholders in that sector are already saying one or two things, reacting to the new replacement of Mele Kyari with Bayo Ojulari. So we'll be joined by Jeremiah Itilade, the CEO of PetroleumPrice.ng, who will be helping us to put answers to some questions. A very good day to you, Jeremiah.
Thank you for having me. Good morning.
So set. I'm so glad that you are so set for this discussion this afternoon. So let's start. First and foremost, this replacement, is it long overdue? Because as of October last year, a lot of people reflected and hoped that Mele Kyari will be replaced. But here we are, Mele Kyari has been replaced. What is your reaction to this development?
Okay, thank you for having me once again. And my name is Olatide Jeremiah.
Yeah.
And for us as experts, we've been expecting this. He has been the longest serving GCEO of NNPCL. He served between July 2019 till today, April 2nd, 2025, the longest serving GCEO. So we expected it. We were even expecting that when he had his birthday earlier this year, January earlier this year, we were expecting the move from the federal government. But it's something we all expected.
Now, interesting, if you say many of us expected it, even those of us in the media space, covering oil and gas, was hoping the moment Mele Kyari clock 60, supposed to exist. But beyond that, there are other issues around, Mele Kyari when he was there as a MD and GCEO of NNPC. But let's quickly take a graph look of the new board, the 11-member board, and Bayo Ojulari. What will be your expectation for this new board as well as the new GCEO of NNPCL?
Okay, thank you. The new GCEO is an oil and gas specialist. He studied mechanical engineering, graduated in 1989, and he has served in Shell from a process manager down to a top management staff. So he's a solid personality in the oil and gas industry, though a bit different from the previous administration, where the previous NNPCL group CEO has been part of NNPC. He has served for 32 years as a crude oil marketer, and he rose to become the group CEO. It's a bit different. So we're going to see a shift in policy. We're going to see a different pattern of managerial policies from that of the previous administration. Because the previous administration, he had all his life, 32 years with NNPCL, while Bayo Ojulari coming in has not have any stint in NNPCL, but he has been a technocrat in the oil and gas industry.
Brilliant. Now, talking about Bayo Ojulari being a technocrat in other sectors, particularly the private sector of oil and gas in Nigeria, if you take a look at Mele Kyari board when they were there for close to 8-9 years that he was there, what's your assessment of his entire work in NNPCL? Because this will be the second time an outsider will be taken over from a groom NNPC GCEO, but someone like Mele Kyari, his performance within that period that he has served, what is your assessment of it?
Well, personally, I'll rate him average. I'll rate him a 5/10. He has made some valuable impacts. During his tenure, NNPCL was commercialized from NNPC to NNPCL. It became a limited liability company. And during his tenure, the PIA bill was passed and enacted. So, and during his tenure, we've seen progress when it comes to the refineries. The Port Harcourt refinery being partially functional and some of the refineries being functional. We've seen some progress. But on the other hand, he also has areas where he underperformed. When we look at the production of our crude, it has remained 1.5 million barrels per day. And one of the ultimatum that current president is giving to the new administration is that they need to up the production to 2 million barrels per day by 2027. And by 2030, it must get to 3 million barrels per day. So, and it is a plus and a minus. It has benefits. In his administration, he has done very well in some parts, and in some areas, he was just an average. I'll rate him just a 5 or 10. But averagely, cumulatively, I'll rate his administration a 5 or 10.
You know, the reason I ask this question because you are a player in that industry and you know much in terms of the politics, the intrigues around the oil and gas sector in Nigeria, of which Mele Kyari have been accused of playing politics, particularly with the crude oil aspect, talking about Naira for crude policy or the federal government, which they bring in the likes of Dangote and other local refineries to come in. But going forward into the discussion and going forward to the new board, what is your expectation of the new board? Because the federal government have set a target for them, 2 million barrels per day in 2025 to 2027, 3 million by 2030. But let's leave the aspect of the production for now. Let's take a look at the ones that ordinary Nigerians want to benefit from. The Mele Kyari administration or board ensure that partially the 4 refineries or 2 out of the 4 work. Now, the new board will be saddled to ensure that the 4 refineries work optimally. What would be your advice to them on which one should they take first? Making the NNPC refinery to work, ensuring that price of petroleum product also come down will be a very good policy they will take on. But what would be your take on this particular issue? Because that's what many Nigerians are hoping to see. Not just changing Mele Kyari, but bringing someone that will ensure that the price of PMS come down to an affordable rate.
Okay, thank you. Well, I would advise him to look towards the direction of our refineries. And our refineries, a large number of them, has not been functional. We don't have a lot of refining capacity. We've not refined enough to meet with the needs of Nigerians. We still import heavily. Importation should be more than 20 to 10% of what we consume. So he should dwell more on building our refining capacity, making sure refiners have access to crude. With that, it will have effect on our pump price, and we will start seeing all of these policies playing out. So we should concentrate more on the downstream sector, which concerns refining, storage facility, and the retail outlet segments. So with all of that, Nigerians will start seeing, because averagely, what the Nigerians want is reduced price at the pump. And they want to buy petroleum products at a very affordable rate. So if all of these policies could affect the pump price, I'm very sure Nigerians will be happy and he will get the pass mark.
Very good. I really love your submission in that regard. Now, there's one particular tax the president per se said the new board must take on. They must review all assets of NNPC. You know what it means when they begin to review all assets of NNPC? Since Mele Kyari took over, or before Mele Kyari took over, the assets will be reviewed. And that is pointing to one thing. Because at the end of the day, we could have Mele Kyari being called back, or EFCC going after him. Or in your own view, what do you expect when this asset is being reviewed by the new board?
Well, it's a good ultimatum, a good move from the presidency. telling them that our operational assets, when we say operational assets, we mean our refineries, our pipelines, they need to be reviewed. Who are those partners? Who are those benefiting? All of that needs to be reviewed. Secondly, our production, our exploration, who are the JVs, who are the IOCs, what are they bringing to the table, how efficient are they? So all of that needs to be reviewed. Because if they are properly reviewed, it's going to have a positive effect, and we would have an increased production of crude per barrel in a day. So it is a good one that the president is charging them. He has given them a tax already, and they have a tax already. They have a framework of what they are working on. You need to make sure that we produce 2 million barrels in 2027, and by 2030 we produce 3 million barrels. And our refining capacity, we need to produce 500 petroleum products, refined products per day. Not the public, not the private refiners, not Dangote and Co. Like the government-owned refineries should be able to produce 500,000 barrels per day for refining capacity. So since we have a framework and we have a target at hand, I'm very sure it is going to be measurable at the end of the day.
Exactly. Now, talking about being measurable, one of the measurables that Nigerians are looking out for is that now NNPC is having a new board. The PIA has subjected NNPC to be commercialized and fully privatized so that it go to Nigerian stock market. I will be talking about Nigerian stock market the moment I finish my interview with you. A lot of Nigerians are waiting for NNPC to be on the stock market. A lot of Nigerians are expecting NNPC to come to the equity market and drop its shares for Nigerians to buy. Do you see this new board taking Nigerian NNPCL to stock market?
Yes, it is something that needs to be done. NNPCL has been commercialized, and they need to be transparent and open to the public. So the public will have an opportunity to buy and have a share in the NNPCL, and there will be ownership coming from the public. So it's a good move. And I know the new board and the new management of NNPCL will look into that. I'm ready to look into that. And with all of those policies, I expect a policy shift. The CEO of NNPCL is a different personality in the industry. There will be some shift. He has not been in the industry. You cannot compare him with someone that has been in the industry for 32 years. He is coming in. He's going to come with his new policies. He's going to come with a whole lot of ideas that would shaping the industry. So we're going to see a different style, a different policy playing out in the nearest month.
Exactly. Now, talking about Bayo Ojulari, which you have concentrated so much because he's the new man with a new cap in the NNPC leadership. But he has a chairman that is going to work with. That is Amodu Musakida, also another oil and gas engineer who has worked for F Petroleum as well as Total Exploration. What do you see with the combination of these two men, Bayo Ojulari coming from Renaissance Oil and Gas and Mele Kyari coming from F Petroleum and Total Exploration?
Yes, I will tell you they have a lot of similarities. Both of them had their university education from Ahmadu Bello University. So I'm very sure they were properly groomed in their university education, and they've all worked in multinationals. And I'm very sure that with all of that, it has groomed them to become technocrats in the industry. So you will see a partnership that is going to work. I am convinced that with both of them coming on board as the board chairman and also the group CEO of NNPCL, we are going to see the positives playing out in a few months from now.
Exactly. Thank you so much, Jeremiah. But before I let you go, down there in Lagos, what is happening to the price of PMS? Are we having a rumble? Because up here in the north, in Abuja, there's also a scheming, there's also noise around PMS price going up. But what is happening as an industry player? Tell us.
Oh, okay, thank you. Currently, at the depot, the prices of petrol has risen this morning. As at Friday, it was 900 per liter at the depot. And the retail outlets were selling 950, 960, 970, thereabouts. As at this morning, I speak with you, according to PetroleumPrice.ng, the price has risen and they are selling 920. Some depots are selling 920, some 910, some 915. And in the last 1 week, it has been increasing with 10 naira, 20 naira every day. And the reason is that the delay in the naira for crude policy, the delay in both parties coming to a conclusion has given rise to the increase at the depot. And if it continues like this, it's going to hit 1,000 at the depot.